All right, so this video is all about the top 10 reasons that you should want to make a move here to Murrieta, California. So I'm going to go over all the highlights. I'm going to talk to you guys about all the good parts about living here in Murrieta, and what I think makes the area so great. We've made a lot of videos about, the cons and some of the negatives, but this one's all about the good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams here in Temecula, California and Murrieta, California. And like I mentioned, this video is all about the city of Murrieta and all about the top 10 reasons that you should want to make a move here. So we're going to go over all the good stuff, hopefully give you guys some good information on what it's like to actually live here and what I think makes the area so great. But the first thing, before we get into all the info, same thing, if you like videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously it helps me, it helps my channel. Obviously we're trying to continue to grow it, so I definitely appreciate that. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, I would love to hear from you. So you can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email. I have people that reach out all the time, so I'm happy to help answer any questions that you may have, maybe give you some input about different parts of the area, or of course, myself and my team, we would love to help you out with your home search and actually help you through your home purchase process as well. But that number goes straight to me. That's my cell phone. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have, and I would love to, again, would love to hear from you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So again, we're going to talk about Murrieta. I've mentioned this in most of my other videos, but again, I have lived here locally in the area for over 20 years. I think it's about 25 years now. I have lived in Winchester, I have lived in Murrieta, I have lived in Temecula, and I think I can give you guys a really good perspective on what it's like to actually live here. Obviously I live here now, and I sell real estate full-time here in the Temecula Murrieta area. This is pretty much where all of our business is here locally. So I think I can give you guys a really good perspective. Over those last 25 years, for probably half of it, so 12, 13, 14 years or so, I actually lived in the city of Murrieta. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now, moved like a mile down the street, and we're considered Temecula now. But to me, they're exactly the same. They butt up against each other. The cities run together. There's really not much difference living in Temecula or Murrieta. Murrieta is a little bit more affordable compared to Temecula, so you get a little bit better bang for your buck. But other than that, they're pretty much exactly the same, So I think most of these items, I think all these items are going to cover both Temecula and Murrieta. But again, this is an area, I think it's a great area to live. I think it's a great area to raise a family. I have 2 young kids. This is where we're going to be living for a long time, where we're going to raise our kids, and hopefully we're going to live here forever. So I think it's a great area. But let's get into we'll get into my list. So top 10 reasons why you should want to make a move here to Murrieta. Number one, and this is like the biggest driver and why most people live here and why most people move here from other parts of Southern California, is it's an affordable area to live in for Southern California. So right now, if you look at an average home in San Diego County, an average home in Orange County, they're over $1 million. So right now in Murrieta, it's just so much more affordable. Right now, the average home is right around $720,000 or so. Obviously, that figure is going to change a little bit, but obviously it's $200,000-$300,000 more affordable and less expensive here in Murrieta than a lot of those other big city areas, right? So it's going to be more affordable, and also what that $700,000 buys you in Murrieta is 3 times the house that you can get, in those parts of San Diego, right? So for $700,000 in Murrieta, you can get a great big home. It's probably 2,400, 2,800, 3,000 square feet, maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe it even has a pool. It was probably built in the last 20 years, maybe 25 years. It's in a nice area, right? As opposed to that $1 million home in San Diego or Orange County, it's going to be pretty small. It's going to be probably 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 square feet. It's probably in not as new of an area, probably not as nice of an area, and that's really the big draw, right? When so many people here, I would say, probably half the population, maybe 75% of the population here has moved here to the Murrieta Temecula area from other parts of SoCal because it's so much more affordable, right? And that's That's really the biggest draw here. So number 2 on my list is the public school system. So the Murrieta Valley School District is a great public school system, and it's free. So living here, that is a huge plus for people. You can come up here, be in an affordable area, relatively affordable area, live in a really good school district with schools are rated 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. One of them is even a 10 out of 10. It's an award-winning district. They're super highly rated, and it's a real desirable thing for people, especially if you have young children. Not only that, if you do not have kids, or maybe you don't have kids yet, or your kids have grown and you no longer have young kids, or maybe you just never had kids, right? Not important to you, then it is still a really good thing to move to a city that has a good school district, because what does that mean long term? An area that has a good school district is going to do really, really well for resale value. So part of that is City of Murrieta, in the next 10 years is a really good bet for resale value, because it's a good school district and because it's a place that people want to live in that good school district. All right, so the third reason that you should want to make a move here to the city of Murrieta is because it is a nice and newer built, squeaky clean suburb community. So, what that means is, yes, there are a lot of tract homes here in the area. It is not all tract homes, but, and there's a lot of large properties, horse properties, all types of different stuff, custom homes, all that. But it is a newer community that has been built. Most of the construction started like in the mid 90s, up until probably 2010-ish or so. That's when most of the homes were built. There are still new construction happening today. So you'll see stuff built 2011, 12, 16, 21, 22, 23. Again, new construction is still happening today, but most of the construction kind of mid 90s to that 2010 area or so. But it's going to be, that means it's newer construction. That means they're pretty clean areas because they're newer. They're not run down. They weren't built in the 50s and all beat up. But not only just the houses, but like the infrastructure, right? So the commercial retail centers, the schools, the stores, all that, the shops, restaurants, all that type of stuff. It's relatively newer, so it's really nice. It's in good shape. Like if you come here and visit and you drive around and walk around, the comment I always get is it feels like it's a squeaky clean community, and I think that's a nice thing. I like the idea of living in a clean place, and that's well taken care of, well maintained, and I think that's a highlight living here for sure. All right, reason number 4 to live here in the city of Murrieta is because it's a really, really safe area. City Murrieta over the last decade has constantly been one of the safest cities in America. They've been anywhere from in the top 10, they've been number 12, they've been top 20. They've always been ranked up there consistently year in, year out as one of the safest cities in America. I haven't seen the ratings for this last year in 2023, but I'm sure they're gonna be up there somewhere towards the top, and it's a safe area. Again, it's it's squeaky clean. Murrieta has their own police department. There's the local Riverside County sheriffs as well. We don't have like a ton of we don't have like a homeless problem, or much of it, at least, especially compared to other parts of Southern California. We don't have other like vandalism or graffiti or gangs or any of that type of stuff. Is all super minimal, and I think that's one of the pluses about living here for sure, just how safe it is. All right, so reason number 5 is all the new construction that's still going on in Murrieta. So one of the things that is really nice, especially when I have clients that are looking to buy a home, right? Most people, I would say everybody, almost everybody, loves the idea of buying a brand new home that's super squeaky clean. No one's ever lived there, right? No one's ever done any improvements. They haven't made any changes, haven't painted the walls funky colors, anything like that. And most buyers would love the idea of being able to buy a brand new home that no one has ever touched. And that's definitely possible here in Murrieta. There's a lot of new construction that is still going on, or even homes that have been built over the last handful of years. And really that's the exception compared to most parts of Southern California, right? So when we talk about those areas in San Diego or Orange County, a lot of the houses were built in the 60s, 60s, in the 70s, in the early 80s, right? And all the land was built up by like 1989, right? So there's not much or many new construction options in those other areas. Where here in Murrieta and the surrounding, Temecula, Menifee area, there's really is a lot of options out there. And not only that, when you get that newer construction, those newer builds, it means you're gonna have the newer layouts. So they're open concept, right? They have the quartz countertops and the waterfall edges and all the cool, pretty stuff that people like nowadays. That's going to be in style, but there's a lot of that, newer construction options and layouts to choose from. All right, so number 6 is going to be the weather. So one of the great parts about living in Southern California is definitely the weather. 10 months of the year, we have awesome weather here in Murrieta. So we don't get very much rain. We definitely need more rain. I think on average, there's like 15 or 16 days a year with rain. So that's not very much water that we get. So anytime it rains, everyone's always thankful and everyone has the same comment. We need it, we need it, we need it, which is true. So it's always nice when we get some rain, because we do definitely need it. But as far as living here, when we don't have very much rain, it's super nice, right? You don't have to worry about rain. You don't have to worry about big raincoats. You don't have to worry about any of all the four season stuff that you have throughout most of the U.S. And that's a big pro here. On the flip side here, we do get super hot 2 months of the year. I think it's pretty manageable. I like the heat, I like the sun, but we'll get average temperatures like 90, 91, 92. That's going to be in August and September. But even when it gets hot, it cools off really nice at night. And the summers here are still really nice. If you don't have a pool or your HOA does not have a pool, make a friend with a pool. He probably comes in useful over the summer for sure. But the weather the other 10 months of the year here is super, super nice and super, super comfortable. All right, so number 7 is the fact that we are here in Southern California. We are in an affordable part of Southern California, but we are still only within about an hour to all the other cool stuff that Southern California offers. So what that means is we're about an hour car ride to downtown San Diego. We're about an hour car ride to the beach. We're an hour car ride to Disneyland in most parts of Orange County. We're about an hour car ride out to the desert, going out to Palm Springs. We're a little bit farther than an hour to make a day trip to LA or up to the mountains up in Big Bear or something like that. But we're so centrally located, all the other cool stuff in Southern California that's offered is super, super easy to access and super attainable, right? If a big band comes in to see, it has a big concert down in San Diego, it's really easy to make that 45-minute, an hour commute to go see them and be able to come home at night, or make the day trip, and grab a hotel or whatever it is you're going to do. But it's not a situation where you have to worry about flights and you're far and you're detached or anything like that. Super easy to make those day trips to all the other cool stuff in SoCal. All right, so number 8 is the fact that we are located in Southern California, and that makes us a really, really good bet for long-term appreciation and our property values going up over time, right? So obviously nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows what the real estate market is going to do over the next 6 months or a year or 10 years, at all, right? So just kind of educated guesses, but knowing what has happened with real estate prices in Southern California over the last 50 years, I think it's a really safe bet to know that anything in Southern California is going to be worth more than it is today in the future, right? And being the fact that Southern California is so desirable, people are always moving here, even though you've heard about these California exoduses, etc. So many people are still moving here to Southern California. The population is still growing. Actually, the people that earn income and the amount of money that they earn per year has gone up for people living in Southern California, and specifically people living in Riverside County. So that just means it's a desirable area. There are more higher income earners living here, and it's just, I think those are really good signs. This is going to be a desirable area long term, which is going to give you some good long term appreciation, and it's a place you're going to want to own real estate, right? Real estate is all about location, 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 right? And in Southern California, I think is going to be a really safe bet long term. All right, number 9 is all about Temecula wine country. So if you don't know, the city of Temecula has become much bigger tourist destination. They now have like millions of people each year that come visit for all types of different venues going out to the wine country area. So there's now over 50 wineries out there, which means a ton of people come in. So they're coming in for either wine tasting and wine tours. They come in for bachelorette parties. They come in for weddings. They come in for all types of different venues and using those 50 wineries. And it's a big tourist attraction now. You know, Murrieta now has a day spa, so which people are going to start making day trips for that. That's pretty new over the last couple months. But it's really, you know, Temecula is drawing in all those people and all that business, and those people want to live close to, you know, those attractions, right? Like a lot of my neighbors, you know, they love wine country and they go out and visit the wineries all the time, every weekend, especially the ones that have just moved to the area. So it's a big draw for people, and Murrieta sees a big benefit for that, right? To go from Murrieta to the Temecula wine country could be anywhere from like a 10-minute to a 20-minute drive, right? So it's super close. Murrieta sees all the spillover there. It's good for the restaurants. It's good for home prices. The more desirable this area is, the more people want to visit, the more people want to come here. That is going to be good for people that live here in town and make your real estate more valuable. All right, and the number 10 on my list is I think this is a great area to raise kids. So again, I mentioned before that I have 2 young kids. Right? I have a 6-year-old son, I have an 8-year-old girl, and this is where we've set up roots. This is where we plan to live over the next 20 years. And I don't think we're ever going to move from here, to be honest. I think it's a great area, and the reason is one, you have a great public school system. So, and that goes from Murrieta and Temecula. It's a great public school system. Again, we talked about this is one of the safest areas out there. It's one of the safest cities in the country consistently. And obviously it's a relatively affordable, so which is a big plus, right? You gotta be able to afford where you live. And then also just all the different community events that are going on. It seems like everything is really family focused or family geared. So what I mean by that is there's so many things that the city puts on, or rec leagues, that if you have children, I have kids, right, that we are able to participate in because it's kind of geared towards that, right? This is not like living in like a big city, right? My wife used to live in New York City, right? There was nothing geared for kids, right? The restaurants aren't laid out for kids. There's not like many events, stuff like that. Where here, everything is bigger. Everything's kind of just made for kids. So there's from kids sports leagues. There's like 3 or 4 different soccer leagues. There's 3 or 4 different baseball leagues. There's 2 or 3 different softball leagues. There's a couple different basketball leagues. There's 50, I think it's over 50 parks now in the city of Murrieta. They put on different events. They put on like a firework family event right around the 4th of July for like the city birthday bash. They do all types of different stuff, both from the city level, from the different private businesses. They put all these different events and all these different things that just really are so family focused. So I think that's a huge plus living here. If you have kids, I think it's hard to find a better area to raise a family, and especially to be in Southern California, to be in a nice area. I think it's a great place to be, truly. So hopefully that's good information for you guys, but that's my list 1 through 10. You can feel free, please do me a like on the video. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more videos. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.